Alright, my dudes. Looks like my internet problems are fixed. There's actually a problem with my internet provider, and they shut down the internet overnight. But seems to have fixed everything, so that's nice. So, we are going to get back to making our game. I changed a bunch of stuff. Let's just see what state it's in now. As you can see, we fixed the issue we had yesterday where tracking wasn't working. So if we died, the enemy stopped tracking us. That's not the case anymore, which actually makes it really hard. And you get a weird situation where you can get stuck inside the enemy like this. But that's fine. You can always escape by just firing. And that'll kill him. Oh no, he's got me. He's got me good. Let me out. There we go. So, coming along quite nicely. The way I fixed that, I'll show you. Invalid operation exception. Collection was modified. Ahaha, I was a little worried about this. That's okay though. Where was that happening? Inside character update. Character update. I assume actually I don't know what I assume. Our timed abilities list. Timed abilities remove themselves, right? Does it tell us? No. Okay. The only collection which can be modified is timed abilities. So let's do timed abilities to list. That's going to be super inefficient. But let's at least see for now if that fixes it. It should do. We'll just mess around a bit. Give it some time to throw the error. And it looks like we're good. Now I'm not sure what timed ability it is that would have caused that issue. Because the way a timed ability works is it does itself and then it deletes itself. But we only have one timed ability right now. And that timed ability is... Let's have a look. That timed ability is die over time, which we give to the bullet. So I guess a bullet was... not dying? Is that right? Such a thing even possible? That a bullet isn't dying? Let's find out. Let's fire a bunch of bullets. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to test this. I guess I can zoom out, right? Ah, but they're just going to move infinitely. I should really have like a bullet count. I don't think that'd help though. Is there any way I can test? I can pause. And then theoretically, the oldest bullet. Okay, so that's the character. That's the enemy, and this should be the first bullet that was ever created. Did he die? He will have died when he went off screen. Ah, I think I understand. Maybe. Possibly. I think if I get rid of... Let's go to our enemy spawner. Let's remove his shoot at target ability so that the enemy can't shoot, so we're in full control of the bullets. And then let's go to our shoot at cursor ability, and we will remove the die off screen ability. Now, they should all be killing themselves just through time. Are they all going to kill themselves? Yes. Let's spam out a bunch of them. Yes. Interesting. So what could have caused that? They are always dying. I guess let's just not worry about it, right? Seems to have fixed itself. So, what's the next thing we want to add? The next thing we want to add... Let's just ensure that I reactivated those. Looking potentially good. If I zoom in here, we'll actually get a frame rate boost. As nonsensical as that may be, because of our camera. Now, we might not want our bullets to actually die off screen later on. We'll probably want a bounce to the arena, and then if they touch the edge of the arena, they die. But for now, die off screen works totally fine. So, next we wanted to... Oh yeah, I was going to show you what I did. So I created this really simple class called Character Collection, which has a list of characters, and it has a method called getClosest. And that will just get you whichever character is closest to you. And then each spawner has a character... Well, I've created this character spawner base class. And each character spawner has a collection of characters. Which means that when we create the enemy spawner, we can give it the player spawner. And then it can say, shoot at target all the player characters. And then if we go to shoot at target, that's a constant ability. You can see that we're passing in the character collection instead of just the character. And then we've got this targeted constant ability, which is getting the closest target. If there are no targets, it's just doing nothing. But if there is, then it'll do activate. Same as before, except before we were just sending in a single target. Now we're sending in whichever target is closest. Which means we can do something cool, like this. As well as shooting at the cursor, how would you like the enemy spawner? We can add shoot at target. And shoot at target, instead of taking a character type, takes the enemy spawner dot characters. And we'll make these be... Let's make them be green. We haven't got anything that's green right now. So now, as well as being able to fire with space, whoa. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I didn't actually give the player spawner the enemy spawner. I should add some nice error checking in there to say if it doesn't exist, throw up a debug message instead of just constantly trying to do that. But that's fine. Right, now, we'll constantly be firing at the enemy. Right? Brilliant. That's all well and good. So what happens, we can also fire at the cursor. So we have auto-targeting, and we also have custom targeting. And that's not bad at all, right? So, what happens if we go to our enemy spawner? Character spawner. Make max characters public. What if we say there can be 5 enemies? Now this is just going to spam them all at once, which isn't ideal, but we'll sort that later. For now, it's going to spawn 5 enemies, one frame after another. You'll see... Oh my god, the frame rate is really dying. Maybe you won't see, but this is why we need to add ammo limiters, right? And probably optimize. However, I guess you can't see, but it's always targeting the closest enemy. I guess the easiest way to show this would be, let's make it so the enemies can't shoot. In fact, to make this easier, I'm going to put the semicolon there. It's a bit weird, but it means we can just comment outlines. Let's make it so the enemies can't shoot. And then, let's add another enemy spawner. And we will put this, where should we put it? Currently up there. We'll put it on the other side. We'll put it behind us. Then let's add another enemy spawner. And we'll put that up here. And then let's add another enemy spawner. And we'll put it over here. So now, what happens? There's a limit of 5 enemies total. But you should see that it's always shooting at the closest enemy. Pretty nice, huh? Possibly massively inefficient. So we'll need to work on that. But as it stands, functionally it's nice. I could watch this all day. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So then, what happens? Well, actually, no. Let's not do any more experimentation. Sorry. Let's think about weapons. Currently, we're just firing at whatever rate we are our frame rate is. So every frame it's creating a bullet. Not ideal. And it's the same with the player spawner and the enemy spawner. It's just creating enemies at an infinite frame rate. You can also use this to make a tower defense game, right? With fully customizable towers and enemy types, if you really wanted to. So it's very customizable. Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy says, hello, so what the hell is this? I have no idea, I am so lost. Please explain. I wanted to get back into making games, and I've been saying for a while I'm gonna make a game and stream it. And I thought, you know what? If there was ever a time to make a game and stream it, now is the time. So this is currently the game. There's not much to it. We can move around. Our guy is auto shooting just as a test. But he can also manually shoot at the cursor. So basically, I haven't actually come up with a game idea yet. I mean, I sort of have. But nothing concrete. So what we're doing is we're making a really customizable set of tools that we can use to make, hopefully, a really varied amount of things. So everything in this world is a character, right? You can see this is a list of everything that's in the world. They're all characters, except these. The spawners will be characters one day, though, but right now they're not. And so everything is a character. They've all got exactly the same stuff. They've all got health, they've all got movement, and they've all got a series of abilities, right? So if I go into our code, also check this out. I got OBS set up so that when I change which window I'm looking at, it'll stream whichever window that is, but without me just having to say show my desktop. Looks like you're remaking Asteroids. Well, that's, you know, that's how it looks now. Except I can do this and I can say this is our enemy spawner, so this creates the enemies. I can say, okay, first of all, the enemies will damage us if they touch us, so that is like Asteroids. Except in Asteroids it'd kill us on hit, right? But to do that we would just set that to 5, which is our maximum health. So an enemy can damage an ally for 3 damage when it hits us. But if we add this line, it will also shoot at any player character. So if I run this again, this is where the frame rate's going to absolutely tank. Now they're shooting at us. Now, I haven't got any limit on the amount of bullets it'll fire, so it's firing infinite bullets at us at an infinite firing rate, which is why our frame rate's going down. We've got 5 guys firing infinite bullets at us, and we're firing infinite bullets at them. But what I was showing off is that we've added tracking so that our character will always shoot at the guy who's closest to him, instead of just, we had an issue yesterday where he was shooting just a single enemy. Now he actually changes his target based on who's closest to him. So you see, even just with that, we've coded it up to the point where we can add this shoot at target ability to anything. And that's how we added auto firing to our main guy. If I go to the player spawner, this is what creates us. You see, I added this line, add shoot at target. We never used to have that. But he's taking the enemies. Yeah, exactly, right? It's all about trying things out, and then as you try stuff out, you come up with game ideas. So we don't want the player to shoot at the target. That would, the player should be controlling his shots with the mouse. And let's limit the amount of characters to 1. Now, the max characters should really be in the character list, right? So we'll need to change that, but that's a very simple change. Now that we've done that, only 1 enemy will spawn at once. There we go, it's running much better. Much better. And we can still... Oop. We can still... Oh shit, he's got us. We can still shoot by pressing space. Except, you see that the issue we really need to fix is the fact that our gun is just firing infinite bullets. We don't have a kind of rate of fire. It's just constantly shooting an infinite stream. I don't know if we'll want to add ammo. Maybe we will for certain types of weapon. But for now, I don't think we need to. So, going with the theory that everything is a character, I'm going to open Notepad. Which should be on the screen now? Yeah. Wow, I've really got this set up nicely. So, a character has a weapon. Multiple weapons? A weapon has a rate of fire and a bullet type. Right? Jeremy says, how did your interview go? Well, I thought it went really well. Then I got a call this morning saying, nah, we're not offering you the job. They said, oh, it was a close thing. We almost did, but we didn't. And it's like, don't tell me it was a close thing and you almost did. Just tell me you didn't, you know? There's no need to butter it up. But that's okay. I've got more interviews lined up. I'm not too worried. So, yeah. Right. Weapons. They have rate of fire, bullet type. Do they have anything else? Ammo? Maybe? Or is ammo infinite? Could be infinite. Maybe sometimes it'll be infinite and sometimes it won't be. That's where it gets interesting. What else would it have? Spread? That's a thing, right? That it doesn't always go where you want it to go. It might go a little bit off. Yeah, that's totally a thing. Nah, it's fine. It's you know, that's always the case when you're interviewing for places, isn't it? But each one you do gets you more into kind of the mindset of interviewing, and you do a bit better. Damage. I think damage would be under the bullet type, right? So a bullet type would have damage, let's say speed, range. So you could have a weapon that could fire multiple different types of ammo. Trying to build things from the ground up. So usually you would build super simple and then make it more complex. The way we've been doing things so far is we've been coming up with we've been trying to really get a fine-grained possibility, like a fine-grained list of all the possibilities, and then make a simple version that allows us to configure all this stuff. If that makes sense. Is there anything else a bullet would have? Maybe like, what would you call it? Like, how many enemies it can pass through? Like penetration? Penetration, right? That's the thing. So, does it only hit one? Would bullet type and ammo be the same thing? No, that would be like ammo count. So I have... I don't know my bullet types. I have 9mm. Is that a bullet type or is that a gun type? I think it's a bullet type, right? Well, anyway, I have 9mm bullets. And they have a certain amount of damage. I guess speed might be under the gun, but whatever. They have a range, which also might be under the gun. Arguably, range and speed are kind of tied together. And then you have penetration. Ooh, both. I like that. I like that a lot. Speed. Range. Yeah, that's right, because depending on the gun and depending on the bullet, you'll get different range, right? And different speed. And maybe different spread, but I think spread will just keep on the weapon for now. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe penetration would be part of speed. No, I think it'd be its own thing. It might be like multiplied by speed. So the faster a bullet is firing, the more penetration it has. Bullet velocity. Yeah, exactly right. I was going to say velocity, but I thought I'd keep it simple because we already have a speed mechanic. Okay, so let's only think about let's work backwards. Let's move all this off screen. Let's think about bullets. A bullet would have damage. A bullet would also have... Shit, I've forgotten them all. Shoot. Okay. Let's say a bullet would have damage, a bullet would have penetration, a bullet would have mass. Oh, mass is an interesting one. Mass would be where you get penetration from, right? It'd be like... maybe not. Maybe. Thing is, if I start adding mass to the bullets, I have to add mass to the players. And that becomes a whole other issue. I wonder if... Let's see. First of all, we don't care about character. So damage is like mass times speed. Maybe? And penetration could be something like you could do something nice like target HP, target health, yes, you could do damage divided by target health yeah. Speed equals so what I'm thinking is something like you have a bullet, it has a given mass and speed, it hits an enemy, it does a certain amount of damage, and then based on how much health that enemy has, we say, let's say the enemy has 10 health and the bullet does 5 damage. When it comes out of the other side, it loses, because it's taken off half of the enemy's health, it loses half of its speed. That'd be reasonable, right? And let's say it does 1 damage. It would do 10% of the enemy's health. So when it came out of the other side, it would have 10% of its speed. Maybe? So the more damage you do, the less speed you have. No, the more damage you do, the more speed you have when you come out of the other side. Although that might be too overpowered. Maybe the more damage you do, the less speed you have when you come out the other side. So I don't want this to be a full-on physics simulation. I want it to be kind of a gameplay mechanic that will work. So do you want more speed after impact based on damage, less speed after impact based on damage, or something like that? And then if your speed drops too much, then you die, right? Or the bullet disappears. I think we would have a limit on that, possibly. Or would you just want same speed after impact? But then what would penetration affect? That would affect amount of enemies that can be passed through. Maybe? So you could have something like, if a bullet had health, knockback, I like it. That is another thing. Knockback. Stun maybe for knockdown. Currently we're dealing with spheres, so I'm trying to keep it all kind of abstract. I like the knockback. I like the knockdown / stun. Then you could have a weapon that doesn't do any damage, but it does stun the enemy. That'd be alright. If a bullet had health, when it damages an enemy, it also damages itself. Huh? Huh? If it still has HP, is the HP the damage? So, I am a bullet. I have 10 HP. I hit a dude who has 5 HP. I deal 5 damage to him, which leaves me with 5 HP. I hit a dude who has 10 HP. I deal 5 damage to him and am killed. That could work, right? And then penetration could be the percentage of damage dealt that hurts you. So then I am a bullet. I have 10 HP and 20% penetration. Huh? Huh? I hit a dude who has 5 HP. I deal 5 damage to him, which leaves me with 6 HP. Change the HP on the bullet to mass. So the bullet... Yeah, exactly. Maybe that could work, right? For now, I want to think in terms of health, because ideally I want the bullets to be characters. Because if the bullet is a character just like the enemy, or just like the player, that means that we can add all sorts of modifiers to the bullets and have some really crazy stuff going on. So we could have bullets that fire bullets. We could have weapons that fire bullets, and those bullets have weapons. We could do all sorts of really cool stuff. Get absolutely crazy with it. So I'm trying to make it as... I want everything to be a character if possible. Which means penetration would be something extra I would have to add. But that's fine. Maybe weapons are characters, bullets are something new. But I don't think so. I think bullets are characters as well. We'll have to think about it. I hit a dude who has... Let's say this guy has 6 HP. No, let's say he has... We're doing 20%. Let's say he's got 5 HP again. I deal 5 damage to him, which leaves me with 1 HP. I hit a dude who has 5 HP. I deal 1 damage to him, and am killed. So by adding 20% penetration, we pass through 2 guys instead of 1, and we do a little bit of damage to someone else. Now, arguably, that's not amazing, but if you think about it, it's also not bad for a bullet that has 10 HP. Be a very small bullet. But yeah, if we think about HP as mass for bullets, that does work quite well. Yeah. I kind of like this. It's a way to do penetration that works quite nicely, I think. I think that works quite nicely. Now you might want to affect the speed as well based on the penetration. So you might want to say I have thing is we're also gonna have well, let's go with this for now. Let's start trying to implement something. So, let's add a new type of spawner. And we'll call it the bullet spawner, which is a character spawner. And I want that to be here. A bullet is, well, we'll have to say for now, we're going to keep it simple. For now, we'll just say it's going to create bullets for the player. We can make this so that the enemies can use it as well later. But we'll just make it work for the player right now. So, it is an ally, because we only want it to hurt the enemies. We want it to have... Let's go with my example. Let's say it's got 10 health. Let's say it's got 10 speed, why not? Let's say it's got 1 size. You can make the size be tied to the health for bullets as well. Have them scale based on their health. But for now, we'll just say bullets are very small. And it's going to be green. And then now's where we need to actually define what a bullet can do. So we have the stats of the bullet. What can a bullet actually do? It can move in a direction. Right? And that direction is... So the bullet spawner... Actually, no. Add move to... Add shoot at cursor ability. No, I think it's move in direction. Add move in direction ability, which takes a direction. So let's say for now, it's just going to go up. The bullet is just going to go up. And add... I'm going to add the die off screen ability just because I don't want it to survive. So, let's... Jamie says, what if you did the mass/HP of the bullet? Does that percentage of damage? And the speed of the bullet equals penetration. So a bullet with 10 mass and 10 speed will do 10% damage and after it penetrates, it loses 10% of its mass. Oh, that's an interesting one. So then, okay, let's think about that. That's quite interesting, actually. Let's get rid of these scenarios. Let's say I am a bullet with 10 HP. The speed of the bullet equals the penetration. With 10 HP and 10 speed. I hit a dude with 10 HP. I deal what? The speed of the bullet equals penetration. So, when you say the speed of the bullet equals penetration, you've got the example. Okay, what if I say I'm a bullet with 5 speed? How much damage do I do? I'm trying to... How much would it do if it had 5 speed? Would it be 2? 2 damage? So the slower it's going, the more speed it does? Does that make sense? Or would 5 be 5% damage? I'd like to get the bullet system quite cool, so we're going to spend quite a time thinking about this. Here's the question. What does it do when it's got 5 speed instead of 10? So I think based on what you're saying, if a bullet had 100... Still do 1 damage on the first hit. Then when it penetrates, it would -5 from damage. -5... So hang on. What if you did the mass of... Faster the speed, the more damage it does on the second hit. So are you saying that because I've got 10 HP, I'm doing 10% of this guy's health? So what if I have 20 HP? I'm trying to figure out the specifics of what we're talking about here. So if I have 20 HP, do I do 2 damage to him? Okay, let's do a few scenarios. I deal 1 damage. And okay, I get what you're saying. Let's try and come up with some scenarios. So I deal 1 damage and I lose some speed, right? And I lose 5%. Do I lose 5% of my HP from the speed? Is that what you're saying? Trying to wrap my head around the specifics. At 5 speed, you would not penetrate. Is that because our speed is less than his health? Hello, Alberto. I getcha. So if he had, I deal 1 damage, and I die, or I do not penetrate. So then, I am a bullet with 10 HP and 20 speed. I hit a dude with 10 HP. I still deal 1 damage, right? And I lose half my speed? Is that right? I deal 1 damage and lose 10 speed. Is that right? I lose 9 speed. Is that because he's only got 9 health left after we've damaged him? Would we not take off how much health he had at the beginning? Because that's how much health we're pushing through, and one of them is getting destroyed. Remainder of health minus total speed. No, that doesn't make sense. Because, think about this. I am a bullet with 10 HP and 5 speed. I hit a dude with 1 HP. I deal 1 damage and lose 0 speed. Yeah. So I think we would have to lose the total. The one thing I'm not sure about is the deal 1 damage. Because then damage isn't tied to speed. Which means I hit another dude with 10 HP. I would still deal 1 damage, right? And lose 10 speed. So now I am a bullet with 10 HP and 10 speed. So I do not penetrate. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. So if we want damage to be tied to speed, or is damage tied to max speed? So because our speed is half, do we only deal 0.5 damage? Because our speed has been halved. I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, so what stops the bullet is the speed. That makes sense. I'm happy with the speed stuff. I quite like this. So we have 20. We go through a dude with 10. We lose 10. Once the speed is less than the health of who we hit, we stop. I like that a lot. The question is, now, the damage side. So on the second hit, we should be doing less damage, right? Which means damage has to be tied to speed. Currently, we're just saying the damage is 10% of the health. Which I'm not massively convinced about. I think... it should be tied to the speed and the health combined somehow. So I would say here we should do 100%, right? Let's say that's our max speed. 10 HP plus 10 speed equals 20, so it does 20% damage. Thing is, I don't know if we can make it percentage based. Because that means if there was a giant god, we would shoot him. And as long as we had 50 HP and 50 max speed, we would kill anything, right? So what about if we do... what about if we do damage equals HP times speed over max speed? So on the first dude, we actually do 10 damage. And we kill him, because we're a bullet with 10 HP. He's a dude with 10 HP. We're hitting him at full speed, so we kill him. But then we lose 10 speed, so I hit another dude. I only deal 5 damage. That could work. Hey, General. We're debating bullet mechanics. That could work, yeah. And the faster your bullet's going... but then the faster your bullet's going, you're not actually gaining any damage. But that might be okay, right? Because it's the mass that matters. But there should be something tying it to speed, as like... let's say you got a upgrade that let you do 30. You would still be doing 10 on the first guy. But on the second guy, you would be doing 6.6 recurring. So the faster speed would not make you do more damage with your first hit, but it'd mean you could hit more people, and your second hit would still do full damage. Low mass, high speed, hit a lot of guys for low damage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just keeps passing through them. That'd be alright. And high mass, low speed would do a lot of damage to one guy, but then it might just stop. I think our loss of speed... So I'm happy with this. Loss of speed equals... I think the loss of speed needs to be a bit cleverer, because if you're a giant bullet and you hit a small guy, you shouldn't lose much speed at all. Like, let's say you fire a planet at someone. Let's say you fire a planet at someone and it hits them, but the planet is going very slowly. Say I am a bullet with 1000 HP and 5 max speed. I hit a dude with 5... No, I hit a dude with 1 HP. No, 5 HP. I deal 1000 damage and lose... We would lose 5 speed, right? So we wouldn't penetrate. Which might be a bit too crazy. So you would want something like... Loss of speed equals... It'd have to be tied to your health. HP... divided... No, HP... Yeah, okay. Equals dude HP divided by my HP yeah, that's what we'd do. We'd do... You would lose times speed or max speed? One of the two, right? So, for this example, he has 5 HP. Well, that's... Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to figure out. So he has 5 HP. We have 1000 HP times by 5 is how much we would lose. So, I'm just going to get a calculator, even though I think this is really easy to figure out. 5 divided by 1000 times 5. We would lose 1/40th of our speed. So it would be 4.725. No, 4.975. We wouldn't lose much. Because we're absolutely huge. And we're hitting a tiny guy, so we don't lose much speed. But if we hit someone with 100 HP, suddenly we're losing 10%. Which... no. Yeah. Yeah, suddenly we're losing 10% and we're becoming 4.5. So we're losing 0.5, which means 5 minus 0.5 equals 4.5. And that would be a regular sized dude. And if we hit someone who had more health, we would... ah, shit. Then if we hit someone who had more health, we would never pass through them. That would be the problem there. Which we don't want, because a low mass, high speed should pass through a lot of guys. Ah, shoot. Low mass, high speed should pass through a lot of guys. Which means... let's think about this. How would we do that nicely? Okay. We've got a damage formula worked out. I like that one. So let's get rid of our examples. And let's try and figure out a new one for speed. I am a bullet with 1 HP and 100 speed. I hit a guy with 2 HP. I deal 1 damage and lose ... speed. I know we're spending a lot of time thinking about this, but if we're making a bullet system, we need to really figure out at least these two components. So, how much speed should we lose? And how can we calculate that? The problem with this, which is really nice... this is fun, yeah, I agree. Some people might find it a bit dry, but you know what? That's fine. For those guys, every so often, I'll just play our application and show off what we've got. So, how can we make sure that fast bullets can penetrate, but the huge bullets don't slow down too much? You still think do 1% damage and lose 2 speed? I think the percentage for the damage is not a great idea. Because it means no matter how strong your guy is, let's say in this example, 1% damage, your bullet is barely going to scratch this guy. It's going to do 0.01 damage. I am a bullet with 1 HP and 100 speed. Oops. I hit a guy with 1000 HP. I deal 10 damage. And lose speed. That would be the problem with using percentages. The bullet shouldn't get stronger just because the guy we hit has more health. Should it? And on the other side, the bullet shouldn't get weaker. Like, the problem with that is we have our planet. Yeah. I'd like to avoid percentages if possible. Because you can get into all sorts of weird scaling issues. Still does 10% damage no matter the guy's health. Yeah, but that makes health kind of pointless, right? That would make health kind of pointless. I think damage. I think we're actually onto a good thing. I think we're onto a good thing with damage. I think our damage formula is gold. But I also think maybe I should lose 10 HP, but I'm not sure. It would take 100 bullets. Yeah, but it'd take 100 bullets to kill anyone. Literally anyone would die in 100 bullets. No matter who they were. Shooting the first enemy in the game would take 100 bullets. Shooting the end boss would take 100 bullets. There's the problem. That's why I don't like percentages too much. Because you run into that kind of issue. Where you would shoot a tank and it'd take 100 bullets to kill it. Yeah. So I'm happy with our damage. Our damage is actually pretty good. It's simple, it's effective. It's nice. Don't have to run it in. Yeah, I guess. But you know. Sometimes you have to drill at home. Otherwise, in half an hour, you're going to go, I think we should do 1% damage. So, what we need to figure out is the loss of speed. Loss of speed is a real issue. So we deal 1 damage. I'm happy with that. You're still gonna do that? Yeah. How much speed do we lose? For speed, I might be okay with it being percentage based, but we'd need to figure it out. Because it's kind of percentage based here, right? It's saying what percentage... So with this formula, we have 1 HP. No, he has 2 HP. We have 1 HP. That means we're losing 10 speed. Actually, that might be okay. No, that's not 5. That's 100. So we're actually losing 200 speed, so it's killing us. So I think this speed is the problem. If our loss of speed currently is 2, right? So there's a very extreme small bullet example. What about a very extreme large bullet example? 1 HP, 1000 HP equals 0.001. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's all we need. Maybe that's totally reasonable for loss of speed. So I am a bullet with 1 HP and 100 speed. I hit a guy with 2 HP. I deal 1 damage and lose 2 speed. I am a bullet with 1 HP and 98 speed. I hit a guy with 10 HP. I deal 0.98 damage. And lose how much speed would I lose there? 10 speed. Alberto says, my mother is walking or not. My brain hurts. Now there's a strange sentence. I am a bullet with 1 HP and 88 speed. I hit a guy with 100 HP. No, not 100. 50. I deal 0.88 damage and lose what? 50 speed? I am a bullet with 1 HP and 38 speed. I hit a guy with 40 HP. .50 speed. How do you mean 50 speed? Are you saying that here we should have 50? I don't think we should. I deal 0.38 damage and lose 40 speed. I die. 1 line above. Here? Yeah. I put 50 speed, right? Oh, right, you're a little behind. Or I am stopped. Let's not say I die, even though that's technically what's going to happen. That is a perfectly reasonable chain of events, right? That's pretty nice. That's actually very nice. It's simple. We've got two simple formula. Super simple formula. But working together, I think they work quite nicely. That seems like a fairly decent bullet simulation. Then we'll need to worry about knockback and stuff, but we can deal with that later. That seems to work, but change the mass HP to 5. How does it work? Good question. Okay. I'm a bullet with 5 HP. I hit a guy with 2 HP. I deal... Let's just change that to 5. I deal 5 damage and lose... Dude HP divided by my HP. What is that? 2 point something? I'm just going to get a calculator up. Can't bother to work it out. So that's 2 divided by 5, 0.4. No, we don't still lose 2 speed. Because we're much bigger. And loss of speed is his health divided by my health. So we actually lose 0.4 speed. We lose a lot less speed. Which makes sense because we're a lot bigger, right? So we've got more momentum. So we have 99.6 speed. I hit a guy with 10 health. I do. This is where the calculator is going to come in handy. 5 times 0.996. I deal 4.98 damage and lose... Now we lose 2 speed, right? 2 speed. Also, I need to change that to 5. So now we're at 97.6 speed. I hit a guy with 50 HP. I deal 5 times 0.976. 4.88. And I lose 10 speed. I hit a guy with 40 HP. I deal 5 times 0.876. 4.38. 4.38 damage. And I lose 8 speed. So it's a much heavier bullet, but it's still going at 100 speed. So it's going to plow through these guys. And it is losing damage and it is losing speed. But it's going to take a lot more. But that's because we drastically increased its mass and we didn't change its speed. So I think that makes sense. That seems reasonable for a bullet with 5 times the mass, right? It does seem to work, yeah. Okay, let's do one more. I am a bullet with 100 HP. and 10 speed. So I'm a lot bigger, but I'm a lot slower. I think it's a good formula, yeah, but let's try the other extreme. I deal 100 damage. And I lose 0.02 speed. I think. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with that. It's 2 divided by 100. Yeah, 0.02 speed. Then I hit a guy with 10. That should be, what, 9.98? I hit a guy with 10 health. I deal 99.8 damage. I think. 10. No. I just want to make sure this is correct. It seems obviously correct. Yeah, 99.8 damage. And I lose 0.1 speed. I'm a bullet with 100 HP and 98.8 speed. I hit a guy with 50 HP. Whoo! I deal 98.8 damage. And this time I lose 0.5 speed. Yeah. So I have 93.8 speed. I deal... No, I've got my decimals wrong. Yeah. I'm still living in the 100 land. The calculations are still correct. I hit a guy with 40. I deal 93.8 damage. And I lose 0.4 speed. I am a bullet with 100 HP and 8.98. No. Yeah, 8.98 speed. So this is absolutely huge. It's slow, but it is losing speed. And then let's say, finally, I hit a guy with 100. So that means if you hit a guy who has the same mass that you have, you're always going to lose 1 speed. Maybe that's alright? Maybe that's alright? I hit a guy with 100 HP. I deal 8.98 damage and lose 1 speed. So if you're one-shotting someone, $89.8 damage. If you're one-shotting someone, you're always losing 1 speed. Seems reasonable. We can live with it. I don't want to mess with the formula, just because I'm not 100% sure that that's a good idea, to always lose 1 speed if you one-shot someone. But, you know, seems reasonable. If you deal half of someone's health, you're losing 2 speed. Yeah. That seems totally reasonable. And if you're hitting a dude who's absolutely giant, and you're tiny, you're losing a lot of speed. Which makes sense, because you've got a lot of stuff to pass through, right? You got to pass through all of his tight mass. So you're going to lose a lot of speed. Let's go with those formula. They're definitely relatively effective. The one thing I'm not 100% sure on is when you hit a guy who's got the same health as you. But that's the one scenario that I'm not sure about, and it might be okay. So we'll live with it for now. So now we need to implement this. And then we'll worry about all the extra stuff. So we need a new ability, an on-hit ability. We have this damage on-hit ability, but we want another one, which is public class. Let's call this, for now, we'll think of a better name later. Let's just call it bullet damage on hit ability. We'll come up with a better name later. And this is going to store itself. And it's going to store max HP. No, max speed. Yeah. Alberto says, Zzz. Sorry, Alberto. I'm sorry. Nobody is forcing you to watch. But I do apologise. I know this stuff can be quite dry. But don't worry. We get to the exciting stuff eventually. We do get there. It just takes a while. So, when we create one of these, we need to pass in who is the bullet. Cal back. Ah, good to see you, Cal. We need to pass in myself equals myself, and then this dot max speed equals myself dot speed. That way we always have a reference to the max speed. Even if we modify the speed, we still know what the maximum was. So, when we collide with a target, damage equals what? HP divided by speed. No, HP times speed divided by max speed. So, myself dot health times myself dot speed divided by max speed. And there we go, we've got our damage sorted. And then we need our speed loss equals target dot health divided by this dot myself dot health. And then we just do target dot health minus equals damage. And this dot myself dot speed minus equals speed loss. And there we go. That's theoretically our bullet penetration done. So I need another one of these. This is for creation. Just going to copy paste these names. And it doesn't take damage anymore. And the only thing it takes actually no. It needs to take the character types. So let's do that. That's in the wrong place. Let's do that. Let's get rid of the damage because we don't care about that anymore. We're calculating that ourselves. Don't care about damage. And we do care about that. Okay. And we don't care about damage. Right, there we go. We should now have... Did you see the change I made, Calback? You know the problem we were having with targeting? I made this little character collection that solves that. So instead of passing a target, we pass one of these collections and it's got a get closest method that will find the closest character in that collection and then they'll shoot at them. Which means when we do move to target, instead of passing in a target, we pass in a collection, and this targeted constant that we created takes that collection, gets the closest guy, and then we activate on the closest guy. Which means we never get that issue where when we die, it freaks out, because when we die, it just looks for the next closest guy. And if there is no closest guy, it says, okay, I'm not going to do anything. And then as soon as a closest guy appears again, it goes, okay, I'll go after him. It's actually very nice. It works really well. But now we've got bullet damage on hit ability. So, if I go back to the player, who's here, shoot at cursor ability. Takes a character builder. Yeah. So instead of damage on hit, we want add bullet damage on hit. And that takes character type dot enemy? No, that takes the targets. There we go. So now bullets will, when we fire, they will theoretically follow those new bullet physics that we just programmed. Let's put these in their own classes. Let's put this one in its own file, rather. Where is that guy? Damage on hit. Bullet damage on hit. There we go. Let's see if that works. That might be kind of hard for us to tell. What's this complaining about? Oh, I didn't save the file. That's fine. I didn't delete this? Thought I did. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Right. I don't expect this to work full time. First time. It's kind of hard to tell. You know what? Let's stop the enemy from attacking us. In fact, we're going to stop the enemy from attacking us. We're also going to stop him from moving, because we're a real bastard. Ah ha ha, sucks to be you, enemy. So, when we fire, our bullets slowed down, right? Look at that. Oh yes. Now, there's still some tweaking to do because they're not dying if their speed goes below 0. You see that? That's already looking better, isn't it? Don't know why that one came back. Its speed must have gone into the negative. Not too shabby, though. We're definitely getting penetration. Let's give the enemies more health. What happens if they have 100 health? Look at that. Because we're not killing them when their speed goes negative, their speed is going massively negative, and they're getting flung back out in the opposite direction. But we did kill him eventually. Not too shabby. All we need to do is inside bullet damage on hit. We need to say, if this myself speed is less than or equal to 0. We might actually want to make that less than or equal to 1 or something, but let's go with 0. This dot myself dot kill me. And there we go. If you want them to die, you could allow enemies to damage them and give them 1 health. Yeah, we could do that. We're trying to have the bullets kill themselves. So now, they just get absorbed. But eventually, they should stop getting absorbed once his health is low enough. Let's click on him so we can see his health. His current health is 61. 56. 52. 47. So I think we do 1 damage per hit. Something like that. We should start passing through him soon. There we go. He's weak enough that our bullets penetrate. How much damage are we doing? The other problem we've got is that they're damaging him multiple times as they pass through him. Which isn't ideal. But maybe it is. Maybe it's fine. So, where's our player spawner? Shoot at cursor. Where's shoot at cursor? So we're supposed to be dealing 1 health with our bullets. We need to tidy up the bullets into ammo types, but for now we're just trying to get bullets working. So we should be dealing 1 health. So that begs the question. If he's starting with 100 health and we're shooting him, why is he at 96.75? Let's debug.log shot plus target.character type for damage whilst traveling at this dot myself dot speed. Oh, I know why. Maybe. Did I not tell the bullets to kill themselves over time? Die over time. Let's remove that for now. That's what's messing it up. The bullets are gradually losing health over time. Which is quite good because it gives you that kind of, they're tailing off over a distance. So the closer you are, the more damage they do. So we might actually keep that. But for now, we don't want to test that. We just want to see that our bullets are working. Did I not save this? Yeah. There we go. Let's try that again. Shot enemy for 1 damage while traveling at 10. Perfect. And then if we keep, well, first somewhere here I have a debug log message that's talking about moving, and I really want to get rid of it. What was the message? Moving to. There we go. Let's get rid of this. We know that movement works. We don't need that message anymore. Now we're just going to get our damage messages. So, can I pull this out so I can see both at once? Welcome back, dude. Okay. So now we can see every time we shoot, we can see how much damage it's doing. Now, if we look at this guy's health, we're doing 1 damage, so we should... Well, actually, no. Every single bullet's going to do 1 health. Should have made us do like 3 damage. But you see there, we started passing through. Because his health is no longer enough to stop us. And now he's dead. Oh yes. So what happens if... Let's put 3 enemies in a row. You've got 2 words to say. Uh-huh. Yeah, 3 enemies in a row. And we will also massively increase the speed of our bullets. Let's put them up to 100. Now, that might be too crazy. Background colour. The background colour can go to hell. For now. Now our bullets might be too fast. Actually, look. At least they're penetrating now. They're still doing the damage, but they are penetrating. I think we just killed him. That's fine. Our bullets are actually going too fast to hit him. But that's okay. Let's bring it back down to 50. Huh? Huh? If I made him bigger, that'd be much easier to test. Let's make the enemy bigger. Let's give him a size of 10. Now he's going to be huge. Now we have the other problem where they're damaging him multiple times. Still, we're definitely getting there. So they're hitting him and then slowing themselves down. And then because they're still within him, they're dealing more damage and more damage. And that guy's actually got himself stuck. He's slowly crawling his way through. This is why we should probably have a limit on the speed. So it doesn't only destroy itself if its speed is 0. Because his speed will be like... What's his speed? His speed is 0.019, but he's still moving. So he's slowly crawling through. He's slowly digging his way through the enemy. So we should probably say if the speed is less than 1, just kill yourself. Or we could do like, if your speed is less than 10% of your original speed, kill yourself. The little bullet that could. Yeah, exactly. Can you add spikes to the enemy? I mean, theoretically, right? This is why... And add walls. Don't get ahead of yourself. We're going to get into all that stuff eventually. We're working on weapon systems right now, right? Once we get weapon systems working, spikes will be part of a weapon system. We could add walls. Circular walls. That little bullet's still going strong. We could add walls, theoretically. If we really wanted to. But I don't see the benefit right now. I do not see the benefit right now. Walls is something we'll worry about later. Because we might not end up having walls. But we'll definitely want obstacles, which will be another type of character. And it'll be a character that you... Well, eventually we need to make it so characters can't move through each other, right? Except bullets. So we'll need to add a modifier to characters that say whether or not something is allowed through them. And another modifier saying, are you allowed to ignore that? So, you'd say, like, players can't move through enemies, enemies can't move through players, but bullets can pass through players and enemies. And then you'd have... nothing can pass through a wall. Stuff like that. But we're not there yet. We're dealing with weapons today. We're dealing with weapons. So, I want to make a slight modification. Just for testing. Just for testing, I'm going to change this from get key down. Just so that we only fire one bullet. So he dealt 1 damage. He dealt 1 damage. You see how sometimes they're... Ah, I saw you get through in the past. Yeah, see, what's happening now? Let's clear the log. Is that because we've damaged him so much? So we are only actually damaging him once. But now that we've damaged him, our bullets are passing through. Not too shabby, huh? So, make bullets stop at enemy. They do. They do for a certain period of time. This is what we spent ages pondering earlier before you arrived. We've made it so bullets have penetration. See, they stop. Because the enemy is really strong, the bullet doesn't pass through. But once we weaken him enough, our bullets will start passing through. Just give it time. See? And the weaker he gets, the faster the bullets get. So the more of their speed they maintain. Because he's got less health to resist the bullets. So the bullets start passing through more and more. Now whether we want that is up for debate. We might just always want to go with the enemy's max health. As opposed to their current health. But I'm not sure. I kind of like this. I kind of like this. So, where is that bullet ability? Do we want it to always do the enemy's max health? If we do that, then it'll always get stopped. Because it doesn't matter how much health the enemy has, what matters is how much health he started with. It'll literally never go through him now. Is that what we want though? That's up for debate. We killed one. But you see that the bullets never went through him, even when he was super weak. So, for now, I'm going to compromise. Our damage is going to be based on the bullet health, and our speed loss is going to be based on the bullet health. Did you stop the player from being able to spam bullets? Temporarily, I did. We need to... That's the next thing that we want to work on. So what I wanted to do was get bullets working, then we're going to get weapons working. And then once we've got weapons working, we won't be able to spam bullets anymore. That's kind of the theory that I'm working on. But temporarily, I just changed get key. I just changed key down to get key. Get key down says, was it pressed this frame? Get key says, is it down? Which means when it's get key, you'll see that we can just spam it. Make enemy with AI shoot 1 bullet 10 secs into player. Well, yeah, that's the next thing we need to do, right? We need to... One second. We need to make weapons. And then we'll have weapons, and the AI enemies will have weapons as well. So, now that we've got bullets working, and this little formula is working nicely, what's next? Weapons. So a weapon should have a rate of fire. It should spawn bullets. It should have a spread for how accurate it is. Is Felix here? I don't think so. He hasn't said anything yet. You see 4 viewers. I'm guessing Jeremy, Cal, you, and who else? Who else? Maybe Alberto's still around. Or maybe YouTube's lying and we actually have more than 4 viewers. Or maybe there's someone who isn't subscribed kicking around. Jeremy says, hey Callum, I still think the bullet HP should be the percentage of damage it does. No! No! Because if we do that, right... No, I'm not going to explain it again. I understand your joke. So, weapon needs rate of fire. That'll be how we limit it to like 1 every 10 seconds. It needs to spawn bullets, which is good because we can take that out of the action. Out of the ability. I didn't like it being in the ability, so having it in the weapon will be really nice. It needs spread. And it needs ammo. So how much ammo it has. What else does it need? Do I have Discord? Technically, yes. Technically, I do have a Discord. But it's a graveyard. It is a graveyard. So, I might create a new one. I've been debating whether to increase my online presence. Are you going to allow them infinite ammo with reloading or finite ammo? We can have both, right? We're trying to make this as customizable as possible, so we can make both. Both would be really nice. You know what's great? Let's say we wanted to give the bullet, instead of move in direction, let's say we give it add move to target. Wouldn't that be interesting? We could make the bullets automatically track the enemies. I would have to add a bunch of extra stuff to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I thought it was going to be easier than it is. We should also add the die over time ability. You need to be AFK to download a program. Yeah. Go for it, that's fine. I'm still debating whether the bullets need health. So, you see what this is doing? If you look at the damage we're doing, if I go right up close, we're doing 1 damage. If I go further away, we're doing less damage. So, you know, it's debatable whether we want that to be the case or not. But now we know we can do that just by adding our die over time ability. So that's pretty good. And that also allows us to specify the range. That's what we were initially doing with it, right? We were specifying the range with die over time. If you want a bullet deflector enemy or gun, you can easily do it by allowing them to damage bullets. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. There could be an enemy that fires out something that destroys bullets. Yeah. Which would be really easy to do. We could do this. Let's say the enemy has a shoot at target ability. But instead... Okay, it's actually going to be a pain in the butt. We need to do weapons first. So... Oh, because a weapon is going to be another spawner. We've got enemy spawners, we've got player spawners. A weapon will be a bullet spawner, right? Jeremy says, should range be on weapon or bullet? Both, right? We could have... We could have it so that each bullet type has a given health and speed. But then we could make it so the weapon can modify that health and speed before sending them out. So the weapon will create... So the bullet creation factory, let's call it the bullet factory. Each weapon will have a bullet factory. The bullet factory will create a bullet, and then the weapon can modify that bullet. So the weapon can say, okay, I've been given this bullet, I'm going to give it some extra speed. Or I've been given this bullet, I'm going to give it some extra ammo. Some extra health. Or I've been given this bullet, I'm going to make it so that it can do stuff. So you could have a given type of ammo that just fired straight in a line, but then you could have a weapon that takes that ammo and makes that ammo aim for the enemy. So we can have the weapons modify the bullets. The bullets can have their own behavior, and then the weapon can modify the bullet's behavior. Oh yes. And then we could let you add additional modifiers to your weapon that will modify the bullet. So you could add a scope that will increase the range or the accuracy. And then whatever kind of bullet you put in, you'll get those benefits that are on the weapon. Not a bad idea, huh? you could have a modifier for a gun that says, I'm going to increase the damage of whatever ammo you're using, but I'm also going to reduce the speed. Stuff like that. So that's why having weapons as a separate thing is going to be really potent. But for that, you could also allow the players to throw bullets at the enemy. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, that would be a separate type of weapon, which would be just thrown. That'd be quite good, actually, because then stuff like spears and knives would just be another type of bullet. Alberto says, when it comes out in 4K and how much the game costs. I don't think we're anywhere near thinking about that. Right now, this is an intellectual exercise. Can we get a 50% discount? I will give you guys this game for free once we get it working. For sure. I'll put it up on a website somewhere where it can be downloaded. Or if eventually we put it on the App Store. I think that's getting ahead of ourselves, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on trying to get something working. So, also the player would have to see which bullet works best with which gun. Yeah, exactly, right? So they would be able to use different bullets with different guns and, yeah, figure out which combinations they like. And then we can let them build their own guns, maybe. Like, every time you kill an enemy, you could pick up their gun. Oh yes, that'd be alright, wouldn't it? But then you'd be using your ammo, not the enemy's ammo. Or you could pick up the enemy's ammo and use it in your gun. So there's all sorts of potential with the way we're building this. I like how this game has evolved from, we don't really know what this game is going to be, into some sort of shooting simulator. But even if it wasn't a shooting simulator, you could still use all this stuff to make other things, you know? Like I said earlier, you could easily make like a tower defense game with this. Or you could make a strategy game with this. Cal says, now we know it will be a JRPG. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Guns will be modular. Because the way we've designed this so far, everything is modular. Ammo is going to be modular. Guns are going to be modular. People are going to be modular. Everything's going to be modular. The ammo being modular, we might not necessarily expose to the player. We might create some hard-coded ammo types, but maybe not. Maybe we'll go totally crazy and say, you can design your own ammo. We could do something like, if you pick a good trait for your ammo, you have to pick a bad one as well to balance it out. And the same with your gun. If you pick a good trait for your gun, you have to pick a negative one as well. Something like that would be really cool. But we'll see. We'll see. We could have like a points-based system where, you know, like when we played Crusader Kings and you created a character, you could choose to make them a genius, but that would cost a certain amount of points. But then you could lower it by making them inbred, which gave them negative stats, but it also lowered their score. You could do something like that for creating guns. Where as long as you're within a certain score limit, or maybe that'd be like the price of the gun. Like you could design the gun, and then based on which qualities you gave it, that would set the price. So there could be a shop where you can either buy pre-made guns, or you can say, I want to make a custom gun. And then they would give you a price based on how you designed the gun. That'd be alright. So anyway, let's get back on track. Weapons. Where's Notepad? Is there anything else a weapon should have? Not thinking about modularity. Just basic things that a weapon should have that a mod could modify. Yes, we said it should have speed and it should have health, right? Yeah, okay, Jeremy. Radio silence is A-okay. You'll be back in an hour to recommend bullets do damage by percent. I'm sure you will. Yeah, so weapons need a rate of fire. I wonder if rate of fire should be tied to the bullets as well. Otherwise you could have a really fast weapon that fired amazingly strong bullets. Cal says wait. Wait? That's not a bad idea. And that would slow down the character who is using it. That's actually not a bad idea at all. I like that one. Although I'm going to put a question mark on it. But it's not a bad idea. I'm only putting a question mark on it because I haven't thought through the ramifications of what it could possibly do. But it does seem like a good idea. And then you could have it so that you can only carry a certain weight worth of guns into battle. Have a carry limit. And mods increase the weight of the weapon, yeah. Yeah. I like that. You know what? We'll put mods down. Just so that we don't forget it. Not that we're going to, but we'll put mods down anyway. So, right. How are we going to design weapons in our game? So they're definitely going to be characters. It's going to be nice because we're going to be able to give each weapon a graphical representation as well. So we can actually have a weapon on the guy. So, firing these bullets is surprisingly satisfying. Anyway, let's make the enemy move again. Jeremy's gone crazy. Spamming the chat. Is rate and fire and speed two different things? If so, how? Yes, they are two different things. Rate of fire equals 1 bullet per second. E.g., 1 bullet per second. Speed is +5 speed to fired bullets. Can we have more than circles now? You're being squarist. No. But we might make the weapons be squares. Maybe. I'm not going to guarantee that, but we might. So there's the difference between rate of fire and speed. And health is, let's say, e.g. +10 health to fired bullets. The guns probably are going to be circles, yeah. Probably. To start off with. I'm not a graphic designer, so everything's going to be a circle to start off with. We need to focus on what's important, and that is the gameplay. Once we have that working, we can focus on what it looks like. Weight will slow down the user. Mods will affect the other traits of a weapon. Ammo count, e.g. you can fire 10 bullets. Fallout 76's design begs to differ. For the weight, slowing down the user. Is that what you're talking about? Spread, e.g. you have a 10% angle, no, 10-degree angle modifier on shots. Spawn bullets, e.g. it can create bullets. Oh, the game being more important than the graphics. Well, yeah. But didn't Fallout 76 look terrible as well compared to Fallout 4? I don't know, I didn't really look into it that much. That's my understanding. So, weapons. Weapons are characters too. Which means, what does that mean? First of all, the first thing we need to do before we get into weapons is, you see these spawners we've got? We need to turn these into characters. Currently they're just static points on the map. The spawner needs to be a character. So that weapons, which are also going to be spawners, they're going to be bullet spawners, can have all the characteristics of a character. And that'll be good because it means you'll be able to maybe have some weapons that you can place on the ground and they can walk around and do their own thing. And they can have their own health and they can be killed. So that'll be nice. So, I'll be back in a sec and then we're going to ponder this. Okay. So, let's jump into it. First things first. Let's delete the enemy spawners. We have a character builder. We need to start out with the player spawner, right? So, where are we at? What is the player spawner actually doing? Let's put this in its own file. What is the player spawner actually doing? It is getting details and then adding abilities. So let's look at characters. Uh-huh. 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 Okay, so oh, this is going to require a fair bit of thought. If a character is a spawner, that would be a constant ability, right? Yeah. So, let's add a new constant ability. And it is a... Is it a targeted ability? No. It's just a constant ability. So, public class, let's call this character spawn ability. So it has the ability to spawn a character. And that is a constant ability. So, that will take... What will that take? Okay. Hey! Give me... Just delete all my code. That's fine, that was nothing. Let me look at character for a sec, and let me look at character builder for a sec. Character builder is a behavior. Let's get rid of this. Character builder is a behavior, and it is used by the character spawner, which takes a builder. Which means that our new ability... Hey, Felix! Public class, character... Let's call this spawn character ability. Constant ability. A spawn character ability. Public spawn character ability. What does a spawn character ability need to do? Well, first, it needs a character builder. So that it can build characters. And in the update, it needs to do builder dot... This is the game we made yesterday, yeah. It's come a long way. It might not look it, but it's come a long way. Ooh, yeah. Not the most impressive of tech demos. Carly, you wanting to try out your mod powers? We can shoot, and the enemies can shoot, and we can kill the enemies. And we can do all sorts of stuff. It's actually pretty good. So now we're working on making weapons. Can I restore that message? No. Wow. So if a mod deletes something, it can't be restored. Cal, you deleted it. Are you able to restore that message? I'm curious about the functionality. It won't let me restore it, but maybe it only lets the person who deleted it restore it. Or maybe it just says, nope, you can't restore it once it's been deleted. I can see the message, so I can still see hello. Right. So. Builder, create. What does create take? A list of character details. It doesn't allow you to, you can only see it, yeah. That's the problem with deleting messages. I do not encourage the deletion of messages. But that was a good test. So that takes character details. So, a character ability needs to take private character details. Character details. Right, we'll worry about the constructor later. So on update, we can do this .builder .create this character details. Perfect. Nice and simple. However, I actually want to make a new type of constant ability called like a timed constant ability. And that will have a private float called tick duration. And private float time to next tick. And that will do this time to next tick minus equals time dot delta time if this time to next tick is less than 0, and then protected abstract void on tick. This dot on tick and this dot time to next tick plus equals tick duration. I'm going to change that to while. So this will, what's that complaining about? Oh, that is a constant ability. And then we want timed constant to be that. And this is going to be on tick. Protected. So, this says, if we give this a constructor, public timed constant ability float tick duration. This dot tick duration equals tick duration, and this dot time to next tick equals tick duration. Is all it takes a duration? Yes. And this base, so this needs to take the tick duration, but it also needs to take a character builder and a character details. This dot builder equals builder. This dot character details equals details. I'm just going to rename that to details. So, with this ability, we can pass in a builder, pass in the details of what we want to build, and depending on this duration, every time that duration is up, it will create that character. Will you add music later? Sure. Of course we will. That's a long way off, though. That's polish, right? Mechanisms first, polish later. Polish is stuff like better graphics, music, like a title screen, like an options screen, all that kind of stuff. For now, it's all about get the game working and then build around that once we have it working. So, I'm not 100% about this spawn character ability. Create just creates it. My concern is if we look at a character builder, no, if we look at a character spawner, they have max characters, right? Now, to be fair, for this ability, we don't necessarily want max characters. Because for bullets, it's not limited by how many bullets are on the screen, it's limited by something else. So for now, this is okay. Every, let's say, 5 seconds, it's going to create something. Whatever we've told it to create, it's going to create it. Which is cool. So, it's going to pass in the character details. Do I want it to pass in the character details, or do I want it to create the character details? This is the question. So, things might change, right? Let's say this is a gun. The gun will move. This has position and rotation. Gonna get rid of texture path for now. This has position and rotation, but they will change over time. So just having an ability that says, I'm going to constantly create this thing, it will constantly create it at the same location. Not ideal. So we need, instead of just sending in the details, where are we using this? Somewhere here, there's find all references. We are using this in our character builder, where we have random method, which I think I can actually destroy. We're using it inside shoot at target, but that's okay. We're using it here in shoot at cursor, and we're using it here at character spawner. Okay. We're also using it in the enemy spawner. So this could work quite nicely. What we can do is we can say, okay, position and rotation are not part of the character details anymore. They're separate. And then that's going to break a whole bunch of stuff. So let's see what it breaks. A whole bunch of stuff, but that's cool. So we can no longer do this. But that's fine, because what we can do is we can say when we create using a builder, we also pass in the position and the rotation. So we can get rid of that. Oops. And that is going to simplify things. Then this guy's going to complain. So we need to say, okay, as well as taking details, you're taking a position and a rotation. Like that. So now, when we create a character, the details do not contain the positional information, which makes sense, right? You have character details, which is all about the bullet, but different bullets will be spawned in different locations. So it's not an integral part of the character details, it's more of a incidental thing. When you create a character, you're saying, I'm creating a character with these details, and I'm creating him here. So that's why we separated that out. That's going to help us. So we have the same problem here, but that's fine. We can just do this. We just need to pass these in instead of passing them in via the details. And the same thing here. Rotation. Yeah. Vector 3 position, Turnian rotation, and then update is going to take no, I think that doesn't actually go there. And I think these don't actually go here. These go here. There we go. One more error. Everyone wants to delete Felix's messages. You're all brutal. So now we're back at our spawn character ability. So this is great. So now the question is, you're bullying him, you guess. Yeah, I guess so. But you are asking. At least asking is, you know, something. So now this needs to know where to create the character. Shoot. Shoot on a boot. So let's say, oh, well, that's fine. That's totally fine. Because all we need to do is pass in character myself, right? The person who is the spawn character. Then we can say private character myself. And we can say this dot myself equals myself. And then here we pass in myself transform position and myself transform rotation. And there we go. We have an ability that will let us create an object. So what that means is cool. Yeah, give it a try. Well done. And now, because I feel bad for everyone picking on Felix, I'm going to stop you all being able to remove his messages. Because I'm a cool dude. Okay. Well, you go to the shop. Maybe when you get back, we'll have people being spawners. So this will allow us to create a object, but it won't have any abilities. Screen of the recorder is white. How do you mean? Screen of recorder is white. I'm not sure what you mean by screen of recorder is white. According to my end, the stream is fine. Nobody else is having that issue, right? I'm going to assume not. Otherwise, people would have mentioned it. Yeah, exactly. It is fine. Okay, man. Catch you later. Yeah, the screen is good. That's what I thought. So we can now create a character, but we can't give them any abilities. So for that, we need to do something real mischievous. And I mean real mischievous. Can you delete your own messages? Cal, surely you can test that for yourself. Can you delete your own messages? Oh yeah, of course you can. Everyone can delete their own messages, right? Right, so we're passing in the details, we're passing in the builder. The other thing we need to do for a spawn character ability is we need... Everyone's going crazy deleting all their messages. It's throwing me off. Okay. We need to be able to add abilities to this guy that's getting created. Otherwise, it's just going to create a generic character who's not going to do anything, right? So if I went to... We've still got the player spawner, the old one, right? If I give him... add... Oh, okay. I need to... do this. Spawn character ability extensions public static character add spawn character ability this character. What else does it take? Float tick duration character builder and character details. It's a little bit of a long one, but it's going to be a fairly complex. So we can say var ability equals new spawn character ability, which takes character tick duration builder and details. And then return ability. No, wait. Return character and character dot constant abilities dot add ability. Right. So now, in the player spawner, we can say add spawn character ability. And this needs to take a duration, so let's say 10 seconds. A builder. I believe we have a builder kicking around in here. Yep. And a set of details. And the details are character details. This dot character details. Right? Ooh, that's private. Okay. Let's make that protected. Just for now. We're actually going to mostly get rid of this class, so I'm okay with breaking it a little bit to test this. So, what's it going to do now? Theoretically, every 10 seconds, it's going to create a new player. Right? 1. 2. Brilliant. It's not very useful though, because the players do not have any abilities. They're just characters, because it's just a character spawner that we've created, right? So it's just creating an empty character who looks like a player. But even so, that means that we can put that on any character. So we could have bullets that create players. Or bullets that create enemies. Or enemies that create players. Or anything. It's a clone square. Yeah, exactly, right? Except the clones are inferior. They don't have minds. They're just basic. So, that's a good step, though. That means we've got an ability that can create a character at a given frequency. So that's really nice. We also need to have a limiter on it. So let's say, where is it? I need to extract this out into. Has science gone too far? It's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. Maybe it has. So, I want to put this in its own file as well because we're going to reuse this. Timed constant ability. That's going to be super useful. It's going to be useful for like regen. Maybe. If you want permanent regen. So. We have a spawn character ability. The other thing it needs is a limit, right? So you can only create a certain amount of characters. I think it needs a limit. Does it? Or should limit be somewhere else? Let's have a think. We don't want to rush into this. Does it need a limit? Will every character spawner need a limit? No. Because the ammo spawner should be able to create as many bullets as it wants, right? If you're firing bullets, just because you fired 10 bullets, it shouldn't stop you from firing another bullet. If you've got 100 ammo, let's say. So this limit will be how many are allowed to be alive at once. Why would you need a limit? The people playing the game won't care about their screen filling up with the player. Well, that's a perfect example, right? That's why we would need a limit. But I think even for the weapons, we might want a limit. For the bullets, we might just want to set the bullet limit to be really high. Like 7 million. What the hell is this music? It's way too dramatic for what I'm after. That's better. That music was getting a bit intense. So, we are going to add a limit. And that means inside the ability, okay, let me think about this. What does our current spawner do? It has our character collection, which is super useful. So it should take a collection. Not just a limit, it should take a collection. And then it should add the character to that collection. And this will make life much easier. So then we can say var character equals this builder create, and we can say collection dot characters dot add character. And then here we need to. This is getting a bit long, which is never a good sign. We also want to say if collection dot, can we access max? The collection should have the limit, right? The collection should define the limit. Public int max characters. Nice. And then public bool is full. Should do return characters dot count is greater than or equal to max characters. And then I feel like our character spawner is doing one more thing. It's removing all the dead characters. So, where's our spawn character ability? Each time you tick, remove all the dead characters. And then if this dot collection is full, don't do anything. Otherwise, add a new character to the collection. Right? So now it should only be able to create the maximum amount of characters. So, if we go back to our player spawner, where we're adding a spawn character ability, does character details have the collection? Character collection, characters. Okay. Let's give it this dot characters, just for now. And the where are we creating the collection? I think we're passing it in, right? Player characters. So we can say max characters equals 5. And then we can also say, instead of waiting 10 seconds, let's change this to 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds it's going to create a player. But because we've set that to 5, it should only create 5 players. Not including ourselves. So there should be 6 on the screen after 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. I guess it does include ourselves. Brilliant. 5 characters. We can make our own clone troopers. Yeah. So now we have 5 characters. But they don't do anything. So that's the next thing we need to figure out. Still, that's progress, right? The player can now create clones of himself. Is your character not a character? He is, yeah. I forgot that they were sharing the same collection. So because they're sharing the same collection, this guy is creating the character. And then adding it to the collection, and then he's getting given the collection, and he's filling up the other 4 slots with his weird characters, who aren't real characters. They're fake clones. But technically, they are real characters. So, that's all well and good. That's working fine. It's not creating more, so it's definitely limiting, which is nice. And it's doing it every 2 seconds, which is also nice. So then, I want a... This is where it gets a little tricky. Because I want to be able to spawn a character not only at a set frequency, but let's say it's a gun. We want to spawn a character every time. We wanted to do it in a timed frequency, but whilst space is held down. So for that, it's an active ability, right? An active spawner. Which is where this starts getting complicated. Could you have the gun spawn every time you spawn? Well, exactly, right? That's where we need to get to. That's where we're trying to reach. So, initially, what we want is we're able to spawn a character, but we need to be able to give that character abilities. Because we're creating a character, but we're not able to give him any abilities. So what we really want to do, and this is where it's going to get a bit weird. We want to do private. Let's see if I can remember the syntax for this. Private action character add abilities function. This is where it's going to get real weird. This dot add abilities function equals add abilities function without an A. And then here we want to do this dot add abilities function and pass in the character. Now what that means is that here we have this add abilities function, right? Well, first I need to add it here as well. This is getting too long. That's when you know your code is getting to not be great. We'll have to spend some time rewriting this. But that's fine, because we're just in the prototyping phase right now, which is cool. So now, when we spawn a player, what we can do, and this is what I mean by it's going to get a bit weird. We can do this. Let's just call it CH. Add shoot at cursor ability. Key code. Let's not use space, let's use E. This builder color dot black character type enemy. Right. Now if I'm correct, which I think I am, then what this is going to do is blow your mind. Possibly. Okay, Felix, you have fun. Please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. It's spawning them. And now when I press E, they will all shoot wherever E is. And we can still fire with space. Oh yes, we're moving up in the world again. Is it useful? Maybe not. Is it cool? Absolutely. How is this blowing your mind? Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But I think it's cool. Ooh. So now we have a method of... Shit, where's the character? Now we have a method of adding abilities to things that we create. Because we can add as many abilities as we want here. We can just say... dot add move to target ability. What does move to target take? A character collection of targets. This dot characters. This is going to get a little weird. Now they're all going to merge into one. And then they're going to try and follow us. Right? No? Why not? Why are they not merging? Move to target. Targets. Why are they not moving? Oh, I know why they're not moving. Because they are part of that collection. So they're trying to move to themselves. If character equals user, continue. There we go. Now they should chase each other. Now they've kind of freaked out. Because they're permanently chasing each other. And we don't tell them to stop once they get close. But that's just because here we want to say if diff dot genetic defects, maybe. If diff dot square magnitude is greater than 1, do not, yeah. There. Now they should stop doing that. And they've reached each other, so they stop. Now they all cluster up. But then we can say, what happens if they were born without enough attention span to play tag? Yeah. What happens if I go to the character collection and as well as get closest, I create another method called get furthest. Dist max equals mathf dot minimum negative infinity. If it's greater than... There we go. So now we can get the furthest away as well. And now I can say get furthest. Now they will always chase the one who's furthest away. We should get some really weird results now. Oh, they're just always chasing us. That's fine. I guess that's because they can group up. Anyway, go back to get closest. That get furthest will come in handy though. So, we can now create a ability that will create things with abilities. So that's super useful. What we now want to do is remove that. Remove that entire spawn character, because our player shouldn't be spawning characters. And we want to let's think about this. See, the player spawner is super useful. I think we do want to keep this guy, so that we're always creating ourselves. We want to use this for bullets, let's say. Now for bullets, this isn't super useful. Although it kind of is for enemy bullets. That's what we wanted to do, right? Make the enemy bullets fire 1 every 10 seconds. That was the goal that I was given. So if we go to the enemy spawner, instead of shoot at target, we'll add spawn character ability. And we want, let's just character, actually, we want to create a new collection for bullets. Let's call this enemy bullets. And this is going to be a character collection with a limit of 1,000. And I can't believe I got rid of the enemy spawner. Let's re-add him. Enemy spawner. There you go. You can be back. Oh, we're miles away. Enemies can spawn just to the right of us. And the enemy spawner takes a player spawner so that it knows where the player is. And it takes a list of characters, which is the enemy characters. It takes a builder, which is the character builder. And right, it takes a public character collection enemy bullets. Which is what we're going to pass in here. So when we create a character, we're creating enemy bullets. And we also want... we don't want it to shoot at cursor ability, because it's actually creating a bullet. And we can say this dot player spawner dot characters. Now that's going to be a little bit funky, but it's going to be cool. So then here, the enemy spawner now takes enemy bullets, so we'll give it that. And now, if we run this, what's it going to do? It's going to create every 2 seconds, we said? These guys are technically bullets. They're not enemies, they're bullets. They just look like enemies. As you can see by the fact that they are they're chasing us. Alright, I've put move to target. What did a bullet have? These. Okay. Character type dot ally, dial screen ability, and move to target. So we're passing in the character details. That's why they're going so slow. But if we were to say var bullet details, this is highly inefficient, but I just want to test this. Equals new character details, bullet details dot character type equals character type dot bullet, bullet details dot health equals, let's make them super weak, bullet details dot speed equals, let's make them go 5, bullet details dot size, let's make them 1, and bullet details dot color, let's make them magenta. And then we can pass in bullet details instead of character details. Oh, it doesn't have this. And now, it should create a series of bullets that are going to track us and kill us. Unfortunately, we told them to die over time. But you see, they do kill us. Let's remove die over time. Here he comes. Why is he speeding up the further away we are? Hey, these little bullets are quite friendly, actually. They don't want to kill us at all. These guys are alright. They only kill us if we run into them. They're like friendly bullets. That's actually a good idea for a bullet, like a swarm that surrounds you. But why are they doing that? Because move to target only lets them get within one. Let's do 0.1. They wall you off, yeah. Still, they're getting faster the further away we are, which I don't massively appreciate. And they're also not dying. Oh my god, these guys are eager. Ah! Save me! Ah, we're doomed. Right, what did I... Where's our enemy spawner? I don't think they want damage on hit. They want... What's our new one? Add bullet damage on hit. What does that take? Just the target type. Character type dot ally. They did soft lockers, yeah. Okay, scumbags. Why are they speeding up the further away we are? Now they die when we touch them. I mean, they still kill us, but that's fine. Also, they're invisible. I think that's because of the Z-axis, right? Yeah. 0. I didn't put the enemy spawner on 0. There we go, that's better. Ugh. These guys are quick little bastards. Fine, kill me. But we really want them. How fast did you make my bullets? Oh, they're ridiculously fast. Our bullets are 50. I'm actually going to bring that back down. That's better. And they're still ridiculously fast, but at least they're working now. Okay. So now that we can do that, the only problem is we don't want the bullets to actually home in on us, right? We want them to go straight ahead. And for that, we need to do something special. Because the way we used to do it was shoot at target, right? And we would pass in the list of characters, it would find the closest character, and it would shoot at them. Whereas now we're creating the bullet, but we are moving, which is making things a little bit interesting. However, that's still pretty cool. Now, I think I'm gonna head off for a few hours. He still damages us when we touch him, I think. No? I think I'm gonna head off for a few hours and get something to eat and chillax for a little bit. And then we'll do another stream later. And in the meantime, I might think about this weapon system. Possibly. But it might not seem like we've made progress today, but I think we have, right? We've totally made progress. We've made it so things can spawn each other. We fixed the bullets. We've come up with a nice damage system. Yeah, we've totally made progress. And yeah, I'll be back later when we will do some more. Catch you later.